like it's really easy to say that you want to help other people, that you want to make an impact in others' lives, but sometimes the steps that you take to get there, you kind of get lost along the way. I think that the best way to do that is just trying to get involved. When you make a commitment to an organization or something like that, you're more likely to stick with it because they kind of depend on you. So, for example, being a part of leadership at Dow High, we're able, yeah, a little promo. We're able to help others that need it, and I think that if I wasn't in leadership, I'm still in NHS, National Honor Society, but if I was in leadership, I wouldn't be doing all the things that I have. And like one project that we did within this year and last year, we've donated over 100 blankets to teenagers in the foster care system. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I wasn't involved in such a good organization that pushed me to reach those goals. And that can coordinate just with having people around you that push you to do better.
Yes, Emily, okay, from the mouths of babes. I love it, I love it.
And some of the things that we have done in the past is working with a community center over in Saginaw, by which we would take about 20 to 25 families, and we would take, they would have a Thanksgiving dinner, not the dinner, but actually all the food that they needed for their Thanksgiving at home, and that was very, very successful. And I think there's so many things that we can do to make a difference in people's lives. And I don't like, since this forum, I don't mind sharing this because this is what we're trying to motivate each of us to do things that we normally may not do. But some of the things that I do to motivate individuals is to go, like when I go to the grocery store, I will donate, give them money as a tip. And they said, when I said, no one has ever given us a tip. So I've been doing it for a couple of years, and then you just see the blessings that it brings to them. And there was one situation which was very important. She was, this particular lady was really struggling in life. Her mother was sick, and she did not have enough money. And the fact that she told me that the money helped her to get what she needed to get done. And then I talked to our church about it, and we made a difference by helping that family. And so we used to give thousands of dollars a year just to help people that was in need. And I think as we do things collectively, we can really make a difference. And that's how you build those relationships. Mm-hmm. And within those relationships, we have to respect where the individual are.
Yep, yep.
And put forth the effort. Mm-hmm. And again, that love word, to love them unconditionally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I stop there.
No, go for it. Go
Well,
for it.
as long as we're giving promos.
Oh.
I tutor on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the Legacy Center.
Oh, yeah, they have some here tonight. Yeah, I saw you all out there.
And it has been such a wonderful thing in my life.
Yeah.
The little boy that I have is absolutely wonderful. And he's very different from me. He is very shy. He doesn't talk. And so it's very interesting when we get together, because I do all the talking, which obviously I don't have a problem with. But I try to get him to talk more as well, and as his reading has gotten better, he's wanted to talk more, and he's started to smile more.
Yeah.
And he's been more confident, and he'll play jokes on me. Like, he'll get a word wrong, and he'll put his head down and start crying, and I'll be like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Hee." I'm like, really?
He's comfortable. Yeah, I love that.
So,
yeah.
if you have a couple spare hours during the week tutoring at the Legacy Center, they're always looking for tutors in math and reading, and it makes a difference in a child's life. But last year, at the end of the year, his report card came out, and he had all A's.
Aww.
And so,
All right.
That's
Yay.
awesome.
Yay.
I love it. No, yeah, they do great things.
it's a great place to
Yeah.
spend a couple hours if you need to, couple hours to get in during the week.
No, I love it. I love it.
The
Go ahead.
confidence that can come from learning is so awesome.
Yes, yes, no, it's true.
Amen.
You don't want me
Must be a
tutoring
little
with math,
too,
but
I
that's a
bet.
whole other thing. You know, no, you don't want me helping with math. They would not, won't be getting all A's. Did you want to add something, Courtney, before we close this?
I will just say, in terms of making a difference,
Yeah.
I always just try to keep in mind and in perspective the times where I can have a starfish moment with someone and where I can help with my abilities. So in practice, that looks like a couple of different things. So I have a chronic disease, and I'm pretty public about it. And people know about it, and people often refer to me. I get text messages or calls, or hey, can I refer this person? They just got diagnosed. So sometimes, like, I've just had conversations with people that have been diagnosed with something similar to I have, to where I've been in a scary position, and so sometimes that looks like talking through someone who just got diagnosed that day on a Friday night and things like that. So just knowing the small parts where you can make a difference in
Right,
someone else's
right.
life.
That's
Yes,
great.
yes.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love all of this transparency, reflection, listening that we're able to do. So I'm going to close this part of it, and I just want to say before we have our audience participation that, you know, some of the simplest things and greatest things we can do is give a little grace, right?
Amen.
Give a little grace, show a little empathy. Our walk is not someone else's walk, so we never know what people are going through. So just that kindness and giving people that benefit of the doubt is grand. So if you don't have the money, if you don't have the groceries, if you don't have the time, so to speak, right, you can give grace. And so any questions before we open it to our audience for us up here and out there? Am I paying attention to the details and how I'm impacting others? Am I open to the fluidity of life and realize that everything isn't always simply a case of black and white, as you talked about? Am I contributing to the betterment of society or just my own needs? Do my needs align with the betterment of society? Sometimes for us to see the big picture outside of the moment we're in, we have to do some reflecting and ask ourselves some tough questions. Are you reflecting and are you asking? That is my closing to this part, and now we will open it to our audience. So if you all have any questions that you have of us or a statement that you want to make in regards to this conversation, please do.
Yes, I have it's kind of been a hot button issue for this country and for other people. Student loan forgiveness.
Oh, yes. Lord, I'm in need of it.
If I polled the audience, we probably wouldn't be 50-50 in here. I'm not sure. But what do you guys think about, and talk about the greater good. That's kind of what I thought the whole idea was, for the greater good. But what are your thoughts on that student loan forgiveness that has been tried in this country so far?
I'm a proponent of it, but I also am a proponent of universal health care and universal free education throughout the college level. Not a popular view, I don't think, but that's mine.
Yeah, it's popular in some.
I hope so.
Sections, yeah. You'd be surprised. Anybody have any thoughts about that? Thank you for the question.
I think it's a great question. I am a proponent of it in some cases. If you have a degree in, like, underwater aquatic history, I'm not really sure what value you're bringing.
Have you met the sea turtles?
And so does everything, should it come with a weight? Should healthcare workers, should policemen, should teachers be prioritized over something like that? And if you have, are you working? Are you whatever? So I'm a proponent in probably a weighted scenario.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm not a proponent.
So
And-
am I.
You are?
So
You are?
So you are not a proponent?
I am
of-
not.
Okay, tell us, yeah.
I just feel that it lowers the value of the profession, right? And we're already running into that when we say that, you know, I'm looking for help for my daughter. I'm looking for a direct support professional, right? Somebody that can care for her and help her live a quality life because she is an adult with a disability and she needs support. But I can't find them because they go to McDonald's and they can get a job at McDonald's making $18 an hour. I'm not a proponent of that either, because if you now say that school can be paid for, then you're gonna, the job that you do is not gonna be any more valuable than the job at McDonald's. That's my opinion.
Okay,
Okay.
that's all right.
Anybody else have any?
I don't
opinion?
think jobs at McDonald's should pay $17 an hour. I think we should pay our nurses and our teachers and our whatever. I don't think McDonald's workers should make $17.
What do y'all think they should make? I'm just curious. I don't work at McDonald's. I don't know, but what do y'all think? I'm always curious when people say that. What do you think they should make?
Well, I don't even know what minimum wage is right now. So it might
Is it
be
like
$17
$15
an hour.
or
I don't
something?
even know.
Isn't it 15
But
or
I think
something?
that, you know, I mean, I'm going to show my age here. When I got my first job, I was making $2.85 an hour, and I was so excited because I was going to work 3 hours a day after school and buying a car, right? That's what I did at the age of 16. And of course, you know, everything costs less back then. But again, now I can't pay a good quality person to work with another human being doing a very difficult job because systems make those decisions for us. And you know, they can go to McDonald's and work, and if it doesn't
Where
work out
you
at
go to
McDonald's,
get your
there-
fries, right?
Exactly. So yeah, so I mean, it's just it's
it
very
10?
complicated. But what's that?
She said it's 10, what is it?
Minimum wage is $10.33.
Oh, gracious, wow.
Dang. All right. So I don't think
Isn't it
I'm.
supposed to go up? Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think I'm making a
I'm
point
depressed.
here.
No.
It's okay.
Oh, I used to make 3 cents a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, though,
Working in the cotton fields.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just feel that
Yeah,
we would not value those professions if we didn't have to work for them, right? If I could get a degree and not have to pay for it, I don't know. Am I being selfish?
I don't know that you asked about full student loan forgiveness. I think the question was,
Do you agree with it?
agree
Student
in
loan.
some portion. I think what's been done is a portion. I don't think you should, I don't think we're advocating for like free school, but I think it's.
Some people are. Some people, especially in the community college level. I mean, didn't Governor Whitner just say that they're a proponent of that and trying to advocate for that for at least up to like your associate? Yeah.
Besides, we're already having trouble finding teachers to, teach in public schools. So
Yeah.
how are we gonna pay teachers to teach at colleges if, we're
they get
relying
their
on the
money?
government to do it,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna be free.
Yeah.
Okay,
I hear it.
I'll just be quiet.
No, please don't. No, you know what? You are saying what somebody out there is thinking, so
Okay.
don't ever feel like that. Any other questions? Thank you for the feedback.
There's a question right there.
Hi. This is more of a statement than a question. For the greater good, there's over 45 nonprofits in Midland. Find one that you're passionate about. Volunteer for an hour a month.
You can clap. Yeah.
There is something out there for everyone in this room. Every one of you can volunteer at one of the nonprofits, and they all need you desperately.
Yeah.
And if you need a place to look them up, there's, I think, is it 211? If you call.
And the foundation can give you a list too, I'm
The
sure.
Midland Area Community Foundation can give you a list. There's a lot of places to look it up. But every one of you in this room can do something for the greater good, even if
Yeah.
it's just an hour.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
The United Way can direct you towards many volunteer opportunities in the community as well.
And Max Loves Midland, like Jackie said too, that's a new site that's helpful in a lot of ways. Thank you.
Hello, so you guys did a great job too. So I want to speak to a couple of things. One thing about the McDonald's, that you said you don't feel you should be paid $17 an hour. So I'm from Saginaw, I'm from the lower income area. I grew up there and I still live there. And $17 an hour with a family of even 3 is not enough to survive on. When it comes to, I don't know what you guys have out here, but consumers and water, to say $17 is too much to give a person basic needs, I don't agree with, respectfully. The next thing is the analogy that was made about the train. When you go this way, you got 5 people, but if you go this way, you got 1 person. I also have a daughter with special needs, and I feel that way about our systems, about our government. When we go this way, we have 100,000 people without disabilities, but maybe we have 500 that have disabilities that the government and society tends to look over. And I just want to know how you guys feel about that. I also have a nonprofit, but I also volunteer at many nonprofits, and I also come out to support other nonprofits because I feel like in the systems, we are tomorrow. We are the way to get the systems broken down equally.
I would respond to one part. What I try not to do personally is, how do I want to say this? I try not to measure what people do, right? Because again, I don't know what they're going through. They may have somebody at home they're caring for. They may have a chronic illness that you know, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, I'm just saying, you know, sometimes things are going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of. So I try to measure that and say, well, I never see them out doing anything when they may be battling depression or whatever, right? But then I also, on the other side of that, I see people that do stuff all the time. And volunteerism can get old after a while, right? When you are constantly going, it's a lot, right? I see some volunteers that are the same volunteers all the time, showing, hey, how you doing? It's like, yep, hey, Sally, how you doing? It's us again, you know, and it gets old. So I try not to measure people, right? But I do believe that we should find something that we're passionate about and sow a seed, whatever that seed is, be it, you know, maybe you don't have the time, you have some money. Put that money there if you believe in it, right? But if you have the time, go there. Help stuff bags or whatever, or even share the information to someone else. So there's so many different ways for us to support. And I think that sometimes we try to measure, like, if this person's only doing this, then they're not doing enough because I'm doing this. And I'm not saying you're doing it, I'm just saying us as a society does that to people. And it can make people feel like, well, I'm just not going to do nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to, you know, judge it. So that's how I try to look at it when it comes to things. So I don't know. And then some people do stuff. People go to prison ministry. You never know they go there. They don't ever advertise. They don't put it on social media. They're there, and we don't know it. So, you know, we don't see it all. You know what I mean?
No,
So that's how
we
I
don't.
personally, so if anybody else wants to chime in, please do.
I would like to provide just some context. So in relation to her comment from, my comment around fast food and things like that, it's troublesome for me when it comes to a trade-off for like your lower level healthcare workers, where like a healthcare worker or social worker or someone like that who you depend on for your child's care and help and things like that, when that person has a trade-off of life is a lot easier for me if I just go work at McDonald's, that puts us at a disadvantage in society overall, I feel like. So that was part of probably contextual for my comment. When your teaching staff or when your healthcare staff or people, social work staff, vital things that we need in our society can make a better wage in fast food. Like I think we're gonna struggle more as that. And I'm not putting down fast food. I'm gonna completely forget what organization or study or publication it came out in, but it was some sort of like management 101 article of that, like when top recruiters or things like that see people's resume, they will 9 times out of 10 love to take someone with fast food experience because you deal with supply chain, you deal with customer service and things like
yeah.
that, and just fast food builds all around life skills. And it was some sort of study that was like, I will take a fast food a kid or a 20-something with fast food on their resume, 9 times out of 10, because they make great employees. So that was not saying that. I don't like to see trade-offs for things that are, your EMTs or your,
So it sounds like we're saying that maybe those professions should get paid more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, they should, and I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just very quickly, and this again is just because of the way I worded that as well. I don't know as though a job at McDonald's was ever supposed to be a job that was supporting a family, right? Like in my brain, I think it's a job for a high school student or a retired person that just wants a little bit extra money. And unfortunately, that's not always an option. So
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate this. I think this is healthy for us to have these type of discussions. So thank you. Any other questions?
Hi, I have a question. So I love this discussion of what can we do for the greater good, but I think it also, and maybe this is my projecting on it, assumes some sort of knowing. And I think that's why these conversations can be so complex and so hard. And I think that is even a societal, cultural thing, maybe social media lends into that, is it is so nuanced. And like, say this whole room is all the knowledge there is to know in the universe. We know a tiny speck in that back corner. And so I'm wondering how all of you kind of try to hold space for how little we know. When we have conversations like this, we also feel naturally compelled to have a strong opinion or to have some sort of an opinion. So how do you hold the tension between those two things?
I think it goes back to like what I was
Thank you.
talking about initially with the faith conversation, is that you have to be open-minded enough to hear other people and to hear other people out and to understand what they're saying and to want to find out more. I do real estate photography as one of my jobs. I do a lot of driving. I drive all over Michigan, all over. And I listen to a lot of audiobooks because there's a lot of knowledge in books, and there's a lot of audiobooks. And my father has always been one for personal development books. He loves personal development
me
books.
too.
He loves to make himself a better person. He loves to make us better people. But so I listen to a lot of fiction. Right now it's Harry Potter. Don't judge me. But the other thing that I'm listening to is Grit as well, and by Angela Duckworth. And so I think that listening to audiobooks is a great way to expand your mind, because it doesn't take a lot of effort. It's more thought that you're putting into, and you can do it while you're doing other things. But I think it's fascinating. I was looking all over, and I want to know about this. I was looking all over to find out who the other panelists were tonight, and I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Who these people are, or what they're going to say, or what's going to trigger these people, or anything. And I'm like terrified to come up here. And it's been really great how I went to one of these last year at Creative 360. It's really great how Erin's been able to find people who are open-minded enough to have the conversations with other people and to not lash out and to get mad and to listen and to say, what is human secularism? Because I had that question too, but you got to it first. So, I think it's important to be open-minded about array of different topics. And another job that I'm in is marketing, and so I like to talk to people and find out what makes them tick, and if I can network with them and find other people for them to network with to solve their needs. So I think it's a matter of being open-minded.
Yeah, and I just and Nate, I want you to go next. I just want to say that these topics were intentionally broad, right? They were intentionally big, because this is real life, right? Where we don't know all the answers. We don't know everyone that we're going to be interacting with, right? We're going to go into spaces and it'll be some surprises of what people think or feel. And this is the beauty of it, is that people are then able to learn how to navigate in those spaces in such broad topics. And that's, I don't know, I find it so, it's so cool to me because people are like, we're talking about bias and judgment. What about it? You know, everything, all of the things, whatever you want to talk about, because this is how life works, right? We don't get free questions all the time, you know, to life, right? So sometimes and I gave them this time because I knew this was like a little bit of a different conversation, but yeah, I love this, and I appreciate your question because there are so many nuances to this, and we could have gone a whole different direction with this, and so, but we just kind of organically flowed, and this is where we are. So go ahead, Nate.
I wanted to
Thank you.
expand on what Jackie said
Yeah.
about asking people what they mean, what they
Yeah.
believe in, what their thoughts are on this. When I think it was Courtney asked me what secular humanism meant, nobody probably saw this, but that meant a lot to me because it showed she's interested in learning about me.
Yes.
When you ask someone, you know, what do you mean by this? I'm an atheist. What do you mean by that word? It makes that person feel like you give a crap.
Yeah, no, it's
You
the
care?
truth. No, it's the truth. That is so true, and it's okay for us to ask it and be respectful. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Courtney.
Absolutely.
In regards to her question, and hopefully I try to live that every day. Ted Lasso, it always comes back to Ted Lasso for me. So, in regards to her question, just I think how we can all learn more and
Yeah.
be open, more, but just better humans is be curious, not judgmental. Is
Yes.
the Ted Lasso thing that it comes back
No,
to for
it's
me.
okay to ask questions. Like, we can do it in a way that is respectful, honoring, and not putting someone down by saying, what do you mean by that? Because what happens is we don't ask questions. We walk away and make assumptions. Well, I'm sure he meant this. And it's like, well, no, you could have just asked.
Didn't mean that at all. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, people do that. So, yes, I love it. I get excited. So another question? Thank you all so much.
Hi. Okay. Sorry if mine's kind of long or too multifaceted for this, but as I was listening, I was kind of trying to think about like what are kind of our biggest adversaries to like for the greater good, and kind of the three that I was thinking about a lot that I felt was touched on in many different ways was competition, perfectionism, and the whole money issue. So like, for example, in competition, we have things like nationalism, where you want your country to always be better than the other country, which leads to not talking and discussing openly about global issues and stuff. Because like, even when we were talking about healthcare or college, we have so many countries that have chosen both directions with free healthcare or not. And I feel like if we were more open about talking about issues, we could take the pros and cons from other solutions, because there are so many people in this world. And then for perfectionism was touched on a little bit, of the idea of always wanting to know everything. Or what I was thinking about a lot of times when I'm donating money, I'm always worried, like, is this money going to actually be used for that? Is this going to actually be doing what it should? And I feel sometimes that stops us from just doing it, because you can be like, okay, maybe they took my $10 and did something horrible with it. I was still trying to be a good person. And I feel like that can be more valuable. Or I think someone touched on this with there's so many different parts of being ethical, so why even try? Like, why even try to be an ethical person when there's so many people out there who aren't even trying at all, is how it feels sometimes. And then with your money issue, like the thing where I'm late to my job, I can't stop to help this person, or I don't have time in my life to take care of my community, or things like that. The pressures of placing value on things based on monetary association with jobs, like which job is worth more, which job makes more, which job should make more. Does sometimes that money problem stop us from doing things for the actual greater good? So just different things I was thinking about, but like, what's your feeling about perfectionism and competition and capitalism, and how they affect us discussing topics for the greater good?